Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mrs. Wilson's U.S. History 10 Fall 2020 course. I am Mrs. Wilson, like I said, and I am just going to kind of give you a little bit of info about me and how the class is going to run remotely and how things are going to look over the next several weeks. As much as I would love to see all of you face to face, this will do for now. So I'm going to do a little bit of some sharing of my screen just to kind of show you what my class looks like on Google Classroom, a little bit about me, and just some things that you can look out for if your son or daughter is having an issue or just having, areas where they may need a little bit of assistance. But so far, so good. They've been wonderful over these last 2 weeks, and I am just so proud of them. Here's just a little bit about me. And again, bear with me. We're all new to this with sharing our screens, doing breakout rooms, but we're getting there. And I'm just so proud of how all of my students are doing with this whole remote. And I think they're really catching on rather quickly. Okay, so a little bit about me. This is my schedule as of now, 1st through 6th hour. So I only teach one section of U.S. history. First hour is my conference hour, so I told a lot of my students, if you ever need to reach me, that is the best time to reach me is during first hour, but of course I'm always there for them to send me a text through Remind, send me an email. I'm looking at things daily because I just want all of my students to feel comfortable with this new learning environment remotely, and I just want them to know that I'm there for them. A little bit about me. I went to Central Michigan University for my undergrad, Fire Up Chips. I focused it in secondary education with a major in social studies and a minor in English. I then was able to receive my master's in education with a focus in literacy. This is going to be my 13th year teaching. I did a few years of teaching in Utica Community Schools. I actually graduated from Utica Community Schools, and then I moved to Rochester School District, and I started off at Sony for a good 4 years, and then they did some kind of moving around, and then I came to Adams. So this technically will be my 6th year here at Adams, and I love it so much. I do focus in the areas of English and social studies for what I teach in. A little bit about me, of my life. I am married. I have 2 children. My husband's name is Kent. We've been married for 8 years now, and we have 2 amazing children. Sawyer, he just turned 7 on September 4th, and I have a daughter named Kinsley, and she is 4 years old. You can see with this background, I told the students when we first met the first week of school, my husband and I and my kiddos, we are living actually at my parents' home. We're blessed to be living here. We sold our home over the summer in August, and we are building a new home. And unfortunately, when the pandemic started, our house is super delayed. So my parents were so sweet to have us live with them temporarily as our house is getting built. So yes, I'm living here with my parents, and we have been enjoying it thus far. I did graduate from Eisenhower and Utica Community Schools. I have a brother and a sister. I have 10 nieces and nephews. I married one of my best friend's brothers, which is my husband now, Kent. I always tell my students I do love to shop when I can, online shop. Family is everything, especially during this pandemic. I just realized how much family truly means to me. We do love to vacation when it's safe. I love to read. I love to sleep only if I could. With my 2 littles, they like to be attached to my hip. We love to swim and boat, and I love watching my favorite TV shows. Netflix, Bravo, those are my 2 that I love watching from. My favorite color is pink, so I told my students once we are able to meet face-to-face, which I hope soon when it's safe, they will see that in my classroom, everything is pink. I love pink. I have a pink shirt on today. I do love my job. I love interacting and building relationships with my students. I told my students that I want them to learn, I want them to have fun, and I just want them to try to enjoy this new learning environment of remote learning, and that we'll get through it together. This is my family. So these are my 2 kiddos, Kinsley and Sawyer. This is my husband, Kent. And this is my whole family together. We just celebrated, like I said, my son's 7th birthday, Super Mario style, and he had so much fun. And here's just a little bit more about me. This is just my kiddos, their last day of school back in June with remote virtual learning. This is when we just moved back in August. We are so blessed and thankful in this picture that we are going to be building a pool as well with building the home. So we are so excited for that, especially for next summer. That was the one thing my kiddos really wanted, was a pool. So that's me. That's who I am. Now with Google Classroom, I feel that the students have been doing an amazing job with all their courses in Google Classroom. I've always used Google Classroom, so it's kind of nice that this is what the district is having remote learning go to. Some of the kids are used to Moodle, but this Google Classroom is so easy to access and it's easy to adapt to. So when they do get into my second hour US history class, they will see that the Zoom link for Zoom to meet with me Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. is always going to be here to access it. We did change some things, and I know there was an email sent out through the district that the kids can only use their RCS account, their RCS email, to access and to get into Zoom, or if they use Google Meet. As of now, I use Zoom. That's what I feel most comfortable using right now. But they have to use their school address, their school email address account in order to get into Zoom, because it will not allow them to get in. That's what we had to change our settings, just for privacy reasons, for like they called it Zoom bombing. We just want to make sure that only the kids in my class from Adams are in my Zoom live sessions weekly. So if you click into this, here is where they would access the link. And I told them, just get it through Google Classroom. It will be there every Monday and every Thursday. Now here I do label things such as, like, our first unit is an overview. It's called the Foundations Review, and all the students have learned it back in 8th grade American history class. So we do a project-based assessment, and I already had them break out and get into groups last week, and they are continuing to work on the project right now. But this is where they would find everything that we are completing throughout the semester. I had them do like a little getting to know you. Here is important info with my syllabus, the schedule, with the times of when they meet with their first through 6th hour. The one important thing now is that, yes, they were able to pick up a textbook, but I also have US history textbook online access. So if you look here, I already have it ready. This is something that we were able to find as we researched it on the internet. They can get into the textbook here. It goes all the way up to the chapter 26 where we stop at the end of the year. So right now, if you look here, they get into chapter 1, chapter 2, and it gets into all the sections. So it's super, super nice to have that instead of having their textbook. But I told them, make sure you get that textbook just to have, because if something happened and you couldn't get in to this online access, at least you have a hard copy of your textbook. So that's pretty nice to have as well. With history, we had to kind of change some things around as a department through the district. Usually we go up first semester into getting into Pearl Harbor and World War II. We had to cut that and put that into second semester. And the reason being is that we only have about a 14-week semester. And now if we are doing exams, we still are not, we're still figuring that out. We don't know exactly if we are going to be able to do these exams come January, but we're going to work around it. We're going to figure things out. If we're able to meet face-to-face in a few weeks, in a month, etc., then can we incorporate and do exams? But we are having the exams be scheduled for December before they would leave for that 2-week break. So that kind of cut us short with how many units we could cover in US history. So it's definitely okay, because second semester is just longer. So now we just can put those units that we were supposed to do first semester, we'll do them second semester. So we will end in the 1920s era, the Warring 20s era. So after World War I, getting into the 1920s, and that's when we get into the Great Depression, World War II, and things like that. But we'll just push that to second semester. So I told the kids, you got to work with us. We're kind of changing things up because we just don't want to rush all of that heavy material in one semester in 14 weeks. So that's how things will look on my Google Classroom. They will always find things that are up to date. I will always have notes on here that they will review and complete. So here is just an overview of chapters 1 through 5. It was just a review. So they would then read through those independently, and they would then complete these fill-in-the-blank student notes. And then from there, we would meet live after that and discuss what they actually read up on in those notes. Again, it's different because we are meeting twice a week. We're meeting live. I'm not seeing them every day. So I just had to kind of revamp some of my content and my lessons, and it's working just fine. And I love seeing the kids twice a week. If I could see them more, I would love that. But I get things are different right now, and we'll get through it. That's my main, kind of phrase with them. We will get through it together. So again, this is where everything will be in Google Classroom. They can also see grades. The grades that I put into Google Classroom then sync to Synergy, where you can see that in parent view and student view. It's just awesome what our district was able to put together throughout the summer, and they worked super hard just because Google Classroom, there's so many awesome features and it's just easy to access. So even in their Google Calendar, they'll see what assignments are due and what ones are going to be coming up within the next few weeks. And they learned all of that through all these tutorials that we did the first week. So I saved that module. They were able to kind of get through like how to create your Google Drive and how to clean out your folders, how to make sure that through Google Classroom, everything's organized from one class to the next. So we made sure to get them organized and make them feel comfortable with Google Classroom. And most of them have used it, and the ones that have not, I think they're doing really well with it. So again, that is a little bit about my class of US history. I just want all of you to know that you can always email me and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you ever have questions, if you ever have doubts, if something's going on where, I need to know about your son or daughter, just please, please, please communicate with me. I only want the best for all of my students. So I hope you enjoyed this little session of me, of Mrs. Wilson, US History 10. Again, I hope very soon I can see all of my students because I miss them dearly. And my son's a first grader and I'm trying to teach him remote as well. And my heart breaks. And I know it's not easy, but I know we just have to be safe and our health comes first. So we'll get through it. Enjoy the rest of the night meeting many more teachers, and I hope all of you are staying well. Goodbye.